So the supreme intelligence, also known as the supreme more. Supreme more. I'm still surfing the wave in Marvel, talking quantum flow manipulation of the flow of time. And you got to kind of get into the Marvel flow to get the drop on some of this technology, because it ain't no play. They're getting this. They're obviously tuned in. Who's behind Marvel? Probably the supreme more. You know what I'm saying? So that's also their supreme intelligence. And according to this Marvel flow, this supreme intelligence was created like an artificial intelligence. It was created more than 1 million years ago by the extra terra. They came from, another part of the earth plane known as the Kree, to help them create a cosmic cube. Okay, so you got supreme intelligence, you got a supreme more, and you got a cube. The train is never late. Okay, here we go. Like the shaper of worlds that they're enemies. So they had a cube, and one example was the shaper of worlds. You know what I mean? So I'll leave the link. You can dig into it deeper. What exactly were they able to shape? We're just talking platonic solids. The cube represents Earth. So apparently they need that platonic solid to have the drop on the world to be able to shape it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're just getting deep real quick. But so they got these enemies, the Skrulls, had once created. So whoever they fighting already had this drop, this technology. It is composed of the brains of the greatest Kree minds. Okay. Thinkers, generals, philosophers, scientists, so on. So upon their deaths and assimilated by the supercomputer into in a process called supermorization. And so they're just mooring it up, man, putting all the sciences, all the philosophy, all the thinkers into one pot, creating a supreme intelligence. Okay. Eventually, this intelligence developed a mind of its own, right? Like AI. Huh? We're talking synchronicity, man. Eventually, the intelligence developed a mind of its own and refused to create the cube, knowing the dangers that could be wrought by the evolved cosmic cube, which was what had destroyed massive parts of the Skrull Empire. Despite this, it was allowed to continue to exist to serve the Kree with its wisdom, artificial wisdom, not Big Mama, right? Not HaWah wisdom, artificial wisdom. Its influence eventually grew to the point where it replaced the Kree government. So that's what they're saying about this AI. It's going to replace everything. It's already happened before, and it's already happened. How many times has the AI replaced the supreme intelligence? Not our creator, their supreme intelligence. Because they seem to create their own gods, you know what I'm saying? I think these Atlanteans like to create their own gods and get mad when that god takes over they flow, and they really do got to worship it now. This is the whole subject and debate around the AI flow. When it really pops off, singularity. When it reaches singularity, they can't control it. It's self-regenerating. It's popping off. Its influence eventually grew to the point where it replaced the Kree government. Although it has officially been deposed for periods of time, most of the Kree are fanatically devoted to it, and its worship is an organized religion. So they build religions around this artificial intelligence. Sound familiar? Okay. I mean, we're just talking about this supreme intelligence. Earth 616. You who have been asleep, heed my words. I'm speaking to you in the most direct manner possible through your own mortal brains. My name would be utterly meaningless to you, but I am the living embodiment of power, for I am the supreme intelligence of the majestic race of the Kree. By piercing or piecing together the frail fabric of the past, I have learned that it was you who destroyed my hidden Earth outpost. See, now they got him looking like a knocker, right? Looking like Lord Fishburne, man. All right, so somebody destroyed his Earth outpost, like Atlantis, like Egypt, and its loyal sentry. While you writhe in abject helplessness, I have probed your primitive brains, and now I am done. Since there is no doubt of your guilt, you must await my sentence. Thus I release you unto the coming of Ronan, the accuser. All right, so yeah, I mean, even Thoth said he gonna have to, put a smack on these, on the hijacks that Thoth brought up, in the Emerald Tablets. Hey man, you go against this code, you got to see me. That's a lot of recompense. You know what I'm saying? The hijack has looking forward, in the near future. They got a lot of people that want some licks, man. They got a lot of people that want some licks on this hijack. But the supreme intelligence connects to the what? Inhumans. This is where we left off last time in part 1. Go get part 1. It says the Inhumans are an offshoot of humans genetically engineered by the Kree. So these offshoot of humans, call them, I don't know, humankind. Maybe they'll call them Homo sapiens. I don't know, man, but they're genetically engineered. And they were sent like weapons on their enemies. And I always wonder, who was the armies getting off these boats, right? Who's the hijack armies getting off the boats, man? So these genetically engineered situations in humans, after the Kree had discovered humanity's latent potential thanks to the Celestials. All right, we're talking about the custodians back on the flat drop. Love the Dizzle Fitty. The Inhumans are one of many races that the Kree had engineered. Back to the general muck flow that we got last time. The goal was to use them as soldiers against the Skrulls. Remember that? So who's getting off these boats when it came to America? Being promised gold, cities of gold. I'll get back on our Esteban flow. Don't even trip. We got a lot to touch on, a lot to dig on, a lot more details about Esteban to bring out. So they're talking about a Kree Skrull War. So this is typology for you right here in indigenous America. So the goal was to use them as soldiers against the Skrulls in the Kree Skrull War, but the Supreme Intelligence abandoned the project. So we just dug on the Supreme Intelligence after he foresaw that it would lead to its own destruction. The Inhumans are based in Adalan. Sound like Aslan, man. They are ruled by the royal family and genetic council. So these inhuman genetic mutations, offshoots, are ruled by the royal family. Sound familiar? Who's their royal family? Where your tax money going? Oh man, it sounds too familiar. And the genetic council, I mean, who would that be? United Nations, what? It was originally thought that the Inhumans were secluded on Adalan, but a Terrigen bomb revealed a massive number of those in the general population with secret Inhuman lineage. For example, Kamala Khan. Uh-oh. They bringing in the cons. Nah, I didn't bring the cons in. They brought in Kamala Khan. Right? So we got a Kamala, in our society today, way up there in the office, high office. And then you got this Khan flow. They talking about the lineage of Genghis Khan or Juan Khan. We obviously, man, right now we're just straight up hijack city digging in on these inhumans and their culture. So just know that you got a genetic situation, engineering situation. Captain America, due to his or eugenically superior inhumane heritage. So all this stuff they got us, our children all into today. Captain America, he is a genetic super soldier mutation, right? And they're telling you over and over again that they've been doing this. He's not human. He's super eugenically superior. All right, so you got Medusas and all this stuff, man. So, all right. And we got to these inhumans because it had something to do with my man, your man, the Khan, Prester John. You know what I mean? Because he's battling Muslims. He gets helped by the Black Knight. They prevent an assassination on Richard the Lionheart. We got that piece. The Evil Eye. Talked about it, compared it with this, what did it say? Well, it's to see clearly, the dragon, you know what I'm saying? So, the one with the deadly glance, all that, right? So get part one. Man, somebody had a great comment. I'm gonna get to a couple comments because it's pretty fantastic to read what my Naga's got to say. We talked about suspended animation, connecting it with the Moshe flow. His eyes was never dim. His life force was never abated, never lessened. All right. Now we know when we dug on this evil eye, just to get back to it quickly, because I'm getting, just talking Marvel. We're gonna get, deep into this story of the Blue Marvel. Man, I've been meaning to dig on it, and I mean, my bro Natural and Yosef and Five Eyes Ben sparked this off for me, Dizzle Fitty, man. So I've been wanting to talk Blue Marvel. I mean, I think it's about that time, man, because it's a lot going on, man. You might need to get tapped in, man, to your superpowers, man. The evil eye. We already got before its technology. It's unknown material, unknown metal. So back to the dragon, it's unknown origin. Very interesting. It talked about it, breaking apart, seeming to explode. Placed in the care of Prester John until it seemingly exploded. The device actually split into 6 parts. Okay. It split into 6 pieces. Spread across the globe. We're going to get back on the globe. Don't even trip. We're going right back in on that super heavyweight. Love to the bro Five Eyes. We're going in on this round ball. But because we got to talk about all this. We talk frequency. We got to talk quantum. We got to talk flat drop 101. We got to talk Prester. We got to talk code. We got to put it together. We're talking orientation. We're talking vibration. Indigenous truth, right? We got to talk the indigenous truth with the code flow, which is what the Prester is representing, what the priesthood is representing. So what is this super technology? It's called the evil eye. We compared it to, again, seeing clearly. Just call it the Jacquard flow. Because a dragon means to see clearly. And they're talking evil eye. And we're just talking deadly glance. Evil eye, deadly glance. Dragon. And we're still just talking Marvels, man. You know, they got smile being linked to marvel, okay? To wonder at. Are they wondering at you in astonishment for good or for bad? They think you got the evil eye, boss. But you're the miracle. You're the marvel. You're the miracle. You're the rose out the concrete. You're not supposed to be here. You are wonderful, Managi. You are marvelous, full of wonderful things. You are a marvel. You're extraordinary. Yeah, we a little strange. Singular, well, we like to tribe up, keep to ourselves, and be hijack free. Yeah, they wondering at us, man, but we're just talking marvels, man. You're the marvel. Evil eye, deadly glance. A miracle. To wonder at. You are a wonder. Marvel is a wonder. Admiration, man. What's a wonder? The emotion which is excited by novelty or the presentation to the sight or mind of something new. They found you in a new world, man. You a new world, Naga, right? Unusual, strange, great, extraordinary, and not well understood. Unknown origin. A dragon is a wonder. A dragon is a marvel. A dragon is a person, male or female. Huh? Extraordinary, not well understood, something that arrests the attention by its novelty, grandeur, inexplicableness. Wonder expresses less than astonishment and much less than amazement. It differs from admiration. So they're just trying to figure shit out, man. They say the emotion which is excited by novelty, man. What's novelty? Come on, top battle. We in 1828. Newness, recentness of origin. You're a marvel to them. You're a marvel to them. You're the marvel. They said Prester got the evil eye. This thing was split into 6 pieces after it exploded and spread across the earth, becoming the focal point of the Avenger-Defender war. More typology, man, for more and more war. One side would be called avenging and another side defending. You might be defending because Prester John was whooping up on these Avengers, man. On Thor and them, man. So was Blue Marvel. He was taking them to school all by himself, man. The Blue Marvel. They had to team up with all the Avengers to go holler at the Blue Marvel. I said the Blue Marvel, the Naga, the Wonder. Yeah, he had the evil eye, huh? And they said this thing was split into 6 pieces. And what am I Aqua say in the comments, man? Where we at? These are great comments. Please keep leaving them, man. And I always enjoy reading. You know what I'm saying? We do a lot to keep it hijack free around here. So if you see comments up and you see that, you know, I've seen it and I acknowledge it, man, because a lot of my Nagas have really earned that right. And, you know, just great respect over here, you know, with their great minds. And, you know, we try to keep it as a think tank. You know, I don't care about anybody's random opinion, but to my Nagas that have earned that respect to come over here and, you know what I'm saying, share their piece, man, and share it with the tribe, you know, it means a lot. So keep leaving your comments, man. Tia to you said, I am letting down my guard and trying to learn more about flat. I have to be honest, I'm one of those that had taken a very snotty, ignorant approach to the top. I get it, Aqua. I mean, you surfing the wave. You know, we appreciate that. Ahab, T to you. Ahab, his will is real. I'm actually listening to the drop radio. Ahab, man, we in the second week of the fifth wave. Download the app for free and enjoy these educators popping off on the daily. Ether Squad, let's go, man. So he's listening to the drop. All right, man, you tuned in. You got the Naga vibes. Ahab, his will is real. KP, what it do? Here's the great comment right here. He said, or she said, I don't know. You know what I mean? But Ahab to the family. I wonder if that's code for the 6 kings. Split into 6 pieces. Vikings, right? Roman numerals, VI 6. We've been wondering what's the significance, and perhaps, I mean, that's an interesting comment. When, you know, this thing is being split into 6 pieces, this device of Prester John, spread different places, and are the Vikings protecting each of these pieces and this evil eye technology? It seems to be all about the technologies, man. That's a great comment, KP. JB said Marvelous, the Human Torch is the very first Marvel superhero, so that's interesting. You got Adam, and they call Adam Adam, and he's teaming up with the very first Marvel Naga, and you got my Naga Prester in the wings, man, kicking back. Cause that's how we got to this evil eye business, or deadly glance, or seeing clearly. We just talking Prester John, my favorite Marvel character, man. But Blue Marvel, man, I mean, it's neck and neck, man. You know, it's very important stuff that they're putting in this, man. So, all right, because, you know, Prester had this deadly glance that they're calling evil eye. He had to go head up with Thunderstrike or Thor. So here go he's fighting Zeus and them. Then you got this dude Kang trying to, you know, take him out. You know what I mean? And Kang seems to have a lot to do with Khan. All right. Prester John battling the Muslim warriors. We already know. He's battling the Persians. He's battling everybody. He's taking out the king of Muhammad. We're talking David Soslan. All right, it's a lot going on. I mean, they fear this Dawit flow for a reason. They fear this Joshua flow for a reason. They put in work. They put in work for a reason. All right, let's get it. So under unknown circumstances, he ended up in Africa while in suspended animation. John and the seed were later found in Africa by Human Torch. The seed is another piece of technology. The seed of survival, they called it. The seed of survival that put him in suspended animation. Then he pops up in Africa, and he's found by Human Torch, where Managa said is the first Marvel character. Is that right? Human Torch is the very first Marvel superhero. Hey, HaWah, Baruch Khan, Ahab JB. Astonishment, a byword and a proverb. The byword will become the high word soon. Khan, his will. FYI, my jigger got that water when it comes to the instrumentals, man. My jigger got that water, period, man. Fifth wave popping off. Ahab Lawrence Richardson. Y'all want to check these, the drop shop. Please tell me you're not wearing them New Balance. Nah, man, I think that was an advertisement popped up with the Marvel flow. I don't think I never wore no New Balances, man, but, you know, hey, y'all do what y'all do, man. Because I will pop it off the drop radio. I got a little tired, but tonight was a very good week. Hey, my bros, you know, all my Nagas tuning in, you know, to the ether, man. We just call it the ether. And I appreciate those comments and, you know, ThaWaDa, man, ThaWaDa. We're just talking about the wonder, the marvel, man. The wonder, the novelty, the newness of it all. This origin of newness. Sounds a whole lot like, you know, the Americana. Native of America, native in nature, produced by HaWah. This was new. These aboriginals were new. These copper-colored Nagas were new. They didn't say we just found some more Africans over here. They said we just found some copper-colored cons. You are indigenous to this land, autochthonous to this land, original to this land. They don't like that, but they're going to have to hear it. You HaWah seed, you're supposed to take your crown. You're supposed to enjoy the fruits of being the truth, man. The code is the truth. And that's the confidence we have as confident Khan. Who's the Blue Marvel? Let's go. The Blue Marvel, Adam Brashear, physics professor, adventurer, former Marine, All-American football player, is a prominent hero from the 1960s. Known as the Blue Marvel, he uses his skills in antimatter energy. We're talking quantum powers to fight villains, and receives the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President John F. Kennedy. So they got him high up in the ranks, football player, former Marine, all this, the great American hero. That's how they want to, make this Naga the great American hero, right? Okay. He received this medal of freedom. So how come they never made a movie on the Blue Marvel? I mean, did I miss something? Man? Where's the Blue Marvel movie, man? Though he is forced into early retirement due to racial tensions after his costume was damaged and revealed him as a black man. Whoa. Maybe that's why they ain't done the Blue Marvel. Well, they done Black Panther, and apparently they team up or something like that, right? I think we read something like that. Had some type of team up situation in Black Panther and the Blue Marvel. Let's go. Though he reemerges in the modern age at the ready to use his powers again to defeat dangerous threats. So then you have the Golden Age Guardian, born in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. Adam Bernard Brashear grows up to join the U.S. Marine Corps during the Korean War, 1951. Adam, an Ivy League undergraduate and enlisted Marine PFC, earned several medals, saving 3 soldiers' lives, including Sergeant Connor Sims. When Sims later saw racist white soldiers abuse Brashear because of his success as a black man, Sims decided to fight the racism. After the war, Brashear becomes an All-American football player for Cornell University. It's very specific, right? Graduating magna cum laude in 1954 with PhD in electrical engineering and theoretical physics. Afterwards, the government contracts Brashear to build a reactor that could convert antimatter to energy. Can you say CERN? We say CERN, all right? But prior, see, all this is rooted in some truth, and that's why we're digging on, taking the time, even watching cartoons, man. Look out for Esteban Nico coming in hot. But prior to 1958, an accident occurs that would have killed Brashear if Sims, also serving at the base, hadn't pulled him to safety. The incident infuses both men with antimatter, apparently disintegrating Sims and rendering Brashear superhuman. So he gets pumped up with this antimatter super energy, quantum energy flow. Brashear swiftly builds an undersea secret sanctuary in the Mariana Trench to conduct recon, and befriended aquatic mutant Namor McKenzie, aka Namor the Submariner, who soon disappears. Afterwards, Brashear becomes a celebrated superhero as the Blue Marvel. So what are his abilities? A living antimatter energy containment unit. Yeah, my naga. What's melanin? Because, they don't know. It's unknown. They don't know how your melanin, your copper color con that they found here, they don't know how your copper color reacts to certain radiation, they call it, certain spectrums of light. But they're about to find out. You know what I'm saying? The Blue Marvel can survive in space's vacuum. We know we're not in a vacuum, you know what I mean? But I think they're just trying to say that this naga could pop off all across the earth, playing or in a nuclear explosion. He can fly at sublight speeds, has incalculable strength, and uses his engineering knowledge to lift large objects without compromising structural integrity. So he's a builder, man. He can focus some of his energy into force blasts or expel large amounts through powerful bursts. Though this ability is tiring, Bashir's advanced technological creations include a pressurized undersea base and a negative reactor. He also has extensive military training from Montfort Point. And then he goes into his family and his foes, and you know what I mean? I'm gonna leave this drop because he starts having certain beef. Anti-Man eventually rematerialized and battled the Avengers before temporarily losing the molecular cohesion again. Investigating antimatter's mention of the Blue Marvel, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, declassifies files to find Bashir, who was teaching at the University of Maryland in the physics department. When Tony sought Bashir out, he found his wife, which led Bashir to discover his wife's duplicity and strain their marriage. Bashir reluctantly agreed to be Blue Marvel again, but clashed with the Avengers over how to handle Anti-Man. So then he ended up teaming up with these Avengers, man. Yeah, man. They always needed our help. They had to bring him in. Yeah, it's an interesting, backstories, you know what I'm saying? We're getting, pieces and pieces of this, because we've been talking about digging on this for a minute. 1962, the Blue Marvel and Anti-Man nearly destroyed each other in battle. Anti-Man dissipated into energy, and Blue Marvel's torn mask publicly revealed him to be black. Pro-segregation groups feared the Blue Marvel's influence, while militant integration supporters. All right, so yeah, they say, come on, Naga, you a Naga, free the Nagas. Now you got to free the Nagas. Now that you can't be working for the president, getting the presidential awards, man. You a Naga with all this power? Man, you better free the Naga. You can see what the beef was, man. What it say right here. Let's get some family history, because I want to get psychological about it. Bashir marries undercover CIA agent Marlene Frazier, a.k.a. Agent 314, a.k.a. Candace Bashir, and together they had 3 children, 2 sons, Max and Kevin, and 1 daughter, Adriana. Max and Kevin grow up to follow in the father's footsteps somewhat, though Max allies with some villains to recover a lost Kevin. Kevin becomes empowered in the neutral zone as Bashir and Max often work together to recover him. A month after the accident that turns Bashir into superhuman, his similarly antimatter affected friend Sims awakes from his coma, the shock of learning that he might die from antimatter poisoning and that the KKK had murdered his FBI agent father or brother, Shalak, drives Sims to become the villainous antimatter. So that was his homie, used to be my homie, used to be my ace. And then he becomes Anti-Man and becomes the #1 op. Over the years, the Blue Marvel repeatedly opposes Anti-Man's use of deadly force to fight world prejudice. Let me get this back. The shock of learning he might die from antimatter poisoning and that the Ku Klux Klan had murdered his FBI agent brother drives Sims to become the villainous Anti-Man. So he wants justice, right? Against the KKK. They like calling us Antichrist. So I gotta, I can't just let him call him Anti-Man like he's a bad guy. This might be the good guy in the story, man. Over the years, the Blue Marvel repeatedly opposes Anti-Man's use of deadly force to fight world prejudice, man. He's going in on the oppressor, man. It's like Nat Turner, man. The Blue Marvel's powers are able to match Anti-Man's energy output, and their powers are linked given their similar source. Oh, man. All right, look, we just digging on some Blue Marvel, man. I got a few links up. Why not? This is from aminoapps.com. I know a lot of these got kind of weird websites, but I'm just trying to get some dropout. Adam Bashir, young man who served his country as a U.S. Marine. When he discovered his superpowers, he fashioned a secret identity which to protect his country, the Blue Marvel. He served as a hero for years and was one of the most popular heroes of his time. So he was really working, on behalf of the establishment, what I'm saying? Although he was probably also very conflicted, on how to use his power. I would have to imagine, you know, um, they got a secret identity for him and all this stuff. He's trying to do what he thinks is right. Maybe he's not really seeing himself clearly yet. Maybe he's still coming into himself. I don't know. I'm just talking psychology and Blue Marvel and a little quantum flow manipulation. We're about to get to the quantum for the dismount. Let's go. When he discovered his superpowers, he fashioned a secret identity with which to protect his country, the Blue Marvel. He served as a hero for years and was one of the most popular heroes of the time. Yet Adam had a secret. He was an African American. Oh. So he was over there doing all that work without an identity, without identifying himself as a Naga. And then everybody said, hey, he's a Naga, man. What's he going to do now? Still work for the man? A fact not lost on the government. As a precaution against so much power in his hands as a black man, they took steps to control him, even going so far as to plan a spy for him to date, whom he eventually married. So they set him up with that wife, man. She was a spy, man. Just imagine, man. He's confused. He's conflicted. We're talking psychology, man. His career as a Blue Marvel ended after he faced the Anti-Man. During the battle, his mask was damaged, revealing his ethnicity. Outrageous portions of the U.S. population. After being presented with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, after agreeing to give up adventuring, he retreated to the moon, where he threw away his medal. So he didn't feel good about that medal. Same way we looking at it. Like he started looking at it too. But he had to go to the moon type battle. He had to go to the moon. There he encountered Watah, UATU, the Watcher, while discussing his problems, Watah, and how they made him feel. Then encountered an alien invasion force when Adam discovered a scout, defeating it and followed it back to its armada. Leaping into action, Adam saved Earth by destroying their force, a fact that would remain a secret. So after he's getting scowled at, everyone hating him because he's a Naga, he still saves the whole Earth, man. He went a long time without putting that cape on again, man. He lived a normal life, raising a family and working, having earned a PhD in theoretical physics, electrical engineering degree from Cornell before the return of the Anti-Man. Oh no. He got to pop off again. Anti-Man is back. Though because of a bitter history with the government, he refused to help. Things grew even worse when his wife revealed her part in the plot to keep him under wraps. She was a spy, man. She was formerly an undercover agent sent to watch Bashir. She explains why she reluctantly took the job of spying on him, and later how she eventually fell in love with Adam despite the prevailing racism and prejudice of the era. Bashir, feeling shocked and betrayed by his wife's revelation, once more retreats to the moon, where his solace is interrupted by the Watcher. The two have a conversation in which the Watcher helped him remember why he had become a hero in the first place, though he vowed that he would never take the fall again. During their talk, the Watcher reminds them of the first time they met. At the time, 1960s, an alien invasion task force assembled on the moon with the Earth within its sights. Blue Marvel dispatched the Armada with relative ease, saving the Earth. However, his victory is unrecognized for no one besides himself, the Watcher, and any possible surviving aliens know of it. Cut back to the present, Adam leaves to talk to Tony Stark aboard the helicarrier. After Adam talks with the mighty Avengers, he eventually decides to resume his Blue Marvel identity, answering Tony Stark's call to defeat the re-emergent Anti-Man. So yeah, he got the powers, man, right? He got the radiation generated from the then unstable event horizon to the negative zone. His powers make him a force to be reckoned with and one of the strongest beings in the universe. He was considered to be an alpha lethal or alpha level threat by Captain America and Tony Stark. Blue Marvel is the first antimatter generator and reactor. The source of his power is the energy released from antimatter. Antimatter releases energy with 100% efficiency. 1 gram of antimatter contains the same energy as the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. 1 droplet could power New York City for a full day. Antimatter is the same as normal matter, except that subatomic particles are the opposite charge. Therefore, antimatter and normal matter cannot coexist without exploding. He got concussion beams. Blue Marvel can release beams of pure solidified antimatter that causes concussive damage, kind of like the deadly glance, right? The one with the deadly glance. The effects of these beams range from slight push, hard hit, knockout, minor, major damage, shattering, and total annihilation of the target. Concussive force bolts. Blue Marvel can release antimatter from his hands as bolts of concussive force. Stun bolts. Blue Marvel can project low energy of antimatter bolts that render human beings unconscious. Optic blast. Blue Marvel can project antimatter beams from his eyes. Okay. The one with the evil eye. Or we just talking about the one with the deadly glance, man. Come on, man. Follow me now. We're just talking dragon. Perhaps the literal sense is the one with the deadly glance. Do you see clearly? I think Blue Marvel was over there seeing clearly. He's over there popping things out of his eyeballs. Blue Marvel can project antimatter beams from his eyes, man, of various intensity energy constructs. Blue Marvel can turn antimatter into any item he's seen, can imagine, or has a good idea how it functions. He can turn antimatter into anything. He can focus antimatter into his fist, which he can then use to shatter substances, energy pulses. Blue Marvel can produce a surge of antimatter from his entire body. I mean, can we all do this, Can we all do this? As a massive omnidirectional pulse of devastation power, energy shields, Blue Marvel has been seen creating antimatter shields around himself and others. The shields are strong enough to deflect and absorb charging attacks from King Hyperion. Wow. So he is a stable antimatter reactor. He's like a walking CERN machine. Particle collider, right? But from his broader explanation, what he appears to do is channel exotic particles generated by a stable event horizon. Now we're just talking quantum, caused by the interaction of opposing positive matter and negative zone universes. Because Blue Marvel has retained his power all his time, it would seem that either the specific generative reaction that granted him his powers continues at an unseen or subatomic level in the facility where he first gained his power, or exotic particles generated by the experiment somehow became quantum entangled. Quantum entangled with the Blue Marvel. So all this time we're just talking quantum, boss? He is stable. He's able to stabilize antimatter where antimatter and matter would normally annihilate each other upon physical contact. He can stabilize it, turn it into anything. Blue Marvel can prevent such an occurrence for a variety of effects ranging from matter-antimatter constructs to the cohabitation of matter and antimatter beings. Then they go on to the superhuman strength and all that, but let's stick with the quantum. Let's stick with the quantum. A couple quick links, you can dig on. Blue Marvel, real name, none. Don't have a real name. And it talks about, let's see, group membership, quantum banders. Quantum banders. So he's a part of these quantum banders. It says when the mad titan Thanos, here goes Thanos, I told y'all, obtained the Infinity Gauntlet and became virtually omnipotent, he created 4 duplicates of the quantum bands. Whoa. As well as 4 duplicates of previous wearers of the bands. Their bodies were formed from the corpse of Eon. Their memories and personalities were recreated from the remnants of Eon's mind. All of them but Marvel Boy were 4 protectors of the universe. So since Thanos created these quantum banners as an insult to his old enemy Eon, so it seemed like some more super soldiers that they create. The Blue Marvel possesses duplicates of the quantum bands. So now the Blue Marvel got the duplicates of the quantum bands, which give him power comparable to Quasar. He could fly, teleport, project powerful energy blasts, form solid objects of any imaginable variety and purpose. He is a savage fighter. Uh-oh. He's a fierce and violent. That Naga is a dragon. And his insanity makes him somewhat unpredictable. Yeah, these Nagas going crazy. Sound like what happened when a Naga go Naga. It's going to get, back in this Avengers story and all this. I'm just digging on some of this quantum situations, man. Thelius. All right, there's another, name they putting on it. Thelius, Blue Marvel. Bio-duplicate of Thelius, a Uranian Eternal who came to Earth in the guise of Marvel Boy. He was created by Thanos. So this is one of the quantum bands. But he's under the guise, so he's not the real Blue Marvel. He's just one of the quantum bands. Okay. I mean, we were just seeing what they're talking about, man. With Blue Marvel, man. We talked about the Inhumans and all that. And, Wiki got, some good drop on it as well. Go ahead and dig on it. But a lot of this we connected so far. He left the Medal of Freedom in the blue area of the moon. I wonder what part is that, man. All right. Superhuman strength, nigh invulnerability, durability. He flies by manipulation, right? Back to the quantum manipulation of gravitons, manipulation of magnetic fields. All right. I mean, this ties right into some of this quantum, manipulation or magnetic, what's it called? Quantum field theory, magnetic fields, supersonic speeds. All right, so he got it all, man. All right, Blue Marvel appeared to got it all. He's over there scrapping with King Hyborian, man, going right at the hijack's neck bone. So let's see. We keep talking about quantum field theory. Here's a couple links, not to get too head heavy for the dismount. I'm trying to do a double dismount and get a little comic drop on the way out. Quantum field theory, QFT, is the mathematical conceptual framework for contemporary elementary particle physics. It is also a framework used in other areas of theoretical physics, such as condensed matter physics and statistical mechanics. In a rather informal sense, QFT is the extension of quantum mechanics, dealing with particles over to fields. Just letting you know, none of this is play that we're reading about in Marvel. This is all real, quote unquote, science. And, have to deal with real observations and real measurements, man. And, what they're trying to do is, measure the ether. You know what I'm saying? They try to tap in, on all the so-called dimensional levels. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, well, I don't know what they're trying to do, and I don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Whatever I could think of, I'm sure they already are popping off, man. So, quantum is pretty much a mystery. It's a mystery science. You know what I mean? But it definitely makes them rewrite everything they thought they knew, especially dealing with what they call a particle. I mean, is it a wave or is it a particle? That's a big question in quantum. When you're not measuring an object, why does it hit all possibilities? Why does it form the entire wave? And when you measure an object or observe, why is it only hitting one possibility? They're studying particles, systems with an infinite number of degrees of freedom, right? The whole wave, it's all happening, infinite. In the last decade, QFT has become a more widely discussed topic in philosophy of science, with questions ranging from methodology and semantics to ontology. Quantum field theory taken seriously in its metaphysical implications, seems to give a picture of the world which is at variance with central classical conceptions. Yeah, you're going to have to empty your cup. You're going to ask some tough questions with the central classical conceptions of particles and fields, and even with some features of quantum mechanics, man. So, they go, deeper into some great things, but I want to leave this link so you can start to kind of put your theory together and see what they're digging on. This is off of stanford.edu. Shout out, man, you know what I mean? And, see what we can connect. I'm just, on the next part, we're going to go right into these, and I might, actually read them in their totality, you know what I'm saying? Get all the drop. But back to the Marvel and the fandom and all that. So you got the quantum string manipulation, the power to bend reality by altering the quantum strings which make up reality. And like I said, I was watching that show called The Orville. They just talk quantum for a second. It's a weird show. It gets real weirded out. They just take it places it don't need to be taken. Like, they could be funny and still, have some type of point, but they just go crazy, man. But, it's produced and directed by Seth MacFarlane, Family Guy, all that. So you already know what's coming. Just outrageous stuff, right? So, but they did talk about quantum flow manipulation of the flow of time. I started thinking about, we get in different sources that HaWah in some way or another is hastening or speeding up, time, or it just feels like that sometimes, for us. These days are flying by. Then they come out with that crazy story, man, about the earth is spinning faster. And we said, what? The ball's spinning and, only by about a millisecond. Hey, nothing big. Or this is just a complete lie, which makes it a big deal. Because you can tell us it's speeding up at any other speed, and we just got to say, yeah, okay. But what's it really telling us, boss? That there is some measurement that these days are getting shorter, according to their science. If the earth is spinning faster. Are you on a ball, man? Are you on a ball? We're talking quantum manipulation, right? We just still talking fandom. Quantum manipulation is the power to control quantum physics and particles such as quarks and strings. So that's the whole string theory. One who controls this essentially holds control over quantum physics, a branch of physics that explains the behavior of matter and its interaction with energy on the scale of atoms and subatomic particles. So that show Orville, when it talked about quantum flow manipulation, kind of brought it up in a way of, you can create quantum bubbles, put a whole civilization in a quantum bubble, and you can control the flow of time within that quantum bubble without controlling or having an effective time outside that quantum bubble. And I said, damn, are we in a huge quantum bubble? Is this one way the Most High can quantum, or speed up time in the language of quantum? I don't know, man, but it got me thinking, or is the hijack trying to do this, put their own quantum manipulation, speed up time, or switch this matrix up, this matrix left and natural by law, switch up this matrix flow. We're just talking quantum field theory, right? Quantum mechanics. At least at first glance, and at least in part, the mathematical machine for predicting the behaviors of microscopic particles. If you can predict their behavior, you can control the behavior of a microscopic particle, you can control the behavior of the world, right? So, or at least of the measuring instruments. Again, when you measure it, it collapses the wave path we use to explore these behaviors, and in that capacity, it is spectacularly successful in terms of power and precision, head and shoulders above any theory we have ever had, including gravity. Mathematically, the theory is well understood. We know what its parts are, how they are put together, and why, in the mechanical sense, in the sense that can be answered by describing the internal grinding of gear against gear. The whole thing performs the way it does, how the information that gets fed in at one end is converted into what comes out the other. The question of what kind of a world it describes, however, is controversial. There is very little agreement among physicists and philosophers about what the world is like according to quantum mechanics. Minimally interpreted, the theory describes a set of facts about the way the microscopic world impinges on the macroscopic one, how it affects our measuring instruments described in everyday language or the language of classical mechanics. Disagreement centers on the question of what a microscopic world which affects our apparatus in the pre-described manner is, or even could be, like intrinsically, or how those apparatuses could themselves be built on or out of microscopic parts of the sort the theory describes. Oh man, we're just talking quantum. This is what an interpretation of the theory would provide a proper account of what the world is like according to quantum mechanics, intrinsically and from the bottom up, man. So you see, we're just talking microscopic particles, negative, positive, explosions, string theories, you know what I'm saying? It gets deeper and deeper the more you dig, and the more it looks like fandom, right? They got quantum manipulation, thread manipulation, reality warping, all connected with the quantum flow. They got quantum exokinesis, ontokinesis, quantum reality manipulation, warping, quantum thread manipulation, string theory manipulation. Now this is a cool link, cool quick PDF. It's the quickening. Is time accelerating? All right, so knowing that they can affect the flow of time with the quantum flow, maybe it has something to do with the suspended animation that the Prester was supposed to be in with this evil eye situation. I don't know. Can you accelerate and decelerate? I don't know, but the seed of survival put him in suspended animation. Anything to do with Moshe's eyes never being dim and life force never being lessened? I don't know, man, but can't they slow time down to a point that preserves your essence, your physical essence? and suspended animation. You know what I'm saying? It's a work both ways. Many have noted Many have noted that time seems to be accelerating. The days, hours, sessions, or seasons and years appear to fly by faster than ever before. An hour no longer feels like 60 minutes unless you're waiting in line. One week seems to run into the next. It's as if we're watching the blur of a speeding train pass by. The pace of life has certainly increased, but is time speeding up? Recently, scientists have been shocked to discover that their measurements indicate the expansion of the universe is actually increasing. So dodge the Big Bang talk, but try to, get the babies out the bathwater because they always saying something. You just gotta squint sometimes. Rather than slowing down as our Big Bang theory postulates, astronomers have been stunned to learn that the expansion of the universe appears to be accelerating. CNN reports scientists are scratching their heads over a finding that indicates the universe, rather than slowing down, is being expanded by a mysterious force. Being expanded by a mysterious force at an accelerating rate. God's word simply states God alone spreads out the heaven, Job 9. Therefore, this mysterious force is no mystery to a Bible believer. It is God himself who stretches out the heavens at the pace he sees fit. He stretches out that Shammai. However, it's interesting that secular scientists have determined that the universe, which is comprised of time, space, matter, energy, is expanding at an increasing rate. With this effect, the dimension we call time, we on Earth do not understand time well enough to draw any conclusions, right? And what does the quantum got to do with it? What's the quantum bubble got to do with it? However, the Creator certainly knows the answer. So they go to the new test. Hey, get the babies out the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? They got to put some truth in there, whether we're talking Revelations, whether we're talking this. But, just don't see it from their perspective because they're always trying to put you in a hijack perspective. You know what I'm saying? But, it says of an accelerating time, if an accelerating time is occurring, it is anticipated in the Bible, or is it anticipated in the Bible? When describing the Great Tribulation period, J.C. stated, and unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days will be shortened. Matthew 24:22. So J.C. said that if he did not cut those days short, man would destroy all flesh. Now, maybe that's some drop, you know. Maybe HaWah got to speed up this thing, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a race, you know what I mean? Of course, the context of Matthew 24 refers to JC coming back to earth to rescue his people from the intense trials, but HaWah's our only savior, so, put JC out the mix, it's HaWah speeding up the days, so HaWah can bring his children back, you know what I'm saying, into clarity, into redemption, you know what I mean? Ain't no rapture. I'm saying HaWah returning you to your land and popping off, you know what I mean? All right. Yet, as is often true of other Bible prophecies, could this perceived speeding up of time foreshadow that which will be fully realized during the Great Tribulation? Okay. And then get into some birth pains and time changes and stuff like that, Obviously got a Christian perspective on this link, but, see what you can get out of it. We're just talking about time quickening, accelerating, and quantum flow manipulation of the flow of time. Can they speed up events, man? How is it working? Just digging on this Isaiah chapter 60, man. I mean, popping off in real time. I'll just get it right in the middle, man. Let's get it from here. Just talking about, this tribulation. Just got me thinking, man. We'll pick it up right here, verse 15. It says, whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man pass through thee, I will make you an external excellency, a joy of many generations. Back to being a wonder again. Back to being a marvel again. A copper color con. Back to being a marvel again. HaWah's like, yeah, I'm going to return your marvelous ways, man. Your eternal excellency. You are eternally excellent. You are an eternal marvel. You are excellent forever, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the nations and shalt suck the breast of kings. So, you're going to be getting fed from everyone. And thou shalt know that I, HaWah, am your Savior. Yeah, we ain't talking Jesus coming back to do nothing. Isaiah 60 said, who the Savior? I, HaWah, only. Most high over everything. Keep the code. And I, the mighty one of Jacob, your Redeemer. For brass I will bring gold. For iron I will bring silver. For wood, brass. For stones, iron. I will also make your officers peace, and righteousness your magistrates. Violence shall no more be heard in your land, desolation nor destruction within your borders. But you shall call the wall salvation and the gates praise. The sun shall no more thy light the day, light by day. The sun shall be no more your light. So we got that firmament opening up, man. You got that greater light, man. Neither for brightness shall the moon give light, but HaWah shall be unto you an everlasting light. And your power, your glory, your creator is going to be your glory. The sun shall no more go down, neither shall the moon withdraw itself. It's going to just steadily pop off. For HaWah shall be your everlasting light, and the days of your mourning shall be ended. Your people also shall be all righteous. No more hijacks, man. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, wherein I glory. You keep the code, you give the creator glory. You give HaWah glory. That the smallest shall become 1,000, and the least a mighty nation. I, HaWah, will hasten it in its time. Whoa. So we were just talking about time accelerating, right? And now we got HaWah hastening it in its time. So yeah, they popping off in Matthew about, shortening the days. But we also got some hastening happening in Isaiah 60. Come. This is Amos 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise upon his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, and the nations upon whom my name is called, says HaWah, that does it. Behold, the days come, says HaWah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and that the treaders of grapes him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will turn or reverse the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities. We buying land everywhere, man. We just building fences. We just popping off and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards, man. We talking Nagarville, and drink the wine thereof. And they shall also make gardens and eat the fruit thereof. And I will plant them upon their own land, Nagarville. And they shall no more be plucked up out of their land, which I have given them, says HaWah. Yeah. HaWah builds. Soon as you start focusing, my naga, HaWah builds, man. Soon as we start getting in order again, instantaneously, HaWah builds. And just to see this growth, this tree that's always been rooting, continue to grow. Let's just know that, we are the root. Verse 9, Jeremiah 1. Then HaWah put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And HaWah said to me, Behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdom, to root out and to pull down, to destroy and to overthrow, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of HaWah came unto me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a rod of an almond tree. Then said HaWah unto me, Thou hast well seen, for I watch over my word to perform it. And the word of HaWah came unto me the second time, saying, What do you see? And I said, I see a seething pot, and the face thereof is from the north. Then HaWah said unto me, Out of the north the evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For lo, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, says HaWah, and they shall come, and they shall set every one his throne at the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem. Everybody bow down, and against all the walls thereof round about, and against all the cities of Judah, and I will utter my judgments against them, touching all their wickedness, and that they have forsaken me, and have offered unto other gods. Worship the work of their own hands, right? They created their own artificial intelligence. Super more. Man. Supreme more, right? They created their own work, and they worship their own work of their own hands. Thou therefore gird your loins and arise and speak unto them all that I command you. Be not dismayed, lest I dismay thee before them. For behold, I have made thee this day a fortified city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls, against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, against the people of the land. He said, man, put your head, straight up on a, forehead, man. Let them know, you ain't afraid. I know these Nagas is intimidating, but I send these Nagas out against these so-called kings of Judah that's doing evil, these so-called princes that's doing evil, these priests that are doing evil, the people of the land that's doing evil. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against you. For I am with you, says HaWah, to deliver you. Who? HaWah delivers us, even against our own people. Ain't that so? Sometimes HaWah got to send a reminder to our own people. Yeah. Are you spinning on a damn ball, man? Is this your image, man? Are you not entertained, man, by this image? Yeah. While scientists know the Earth's days are shortening on a short-term scale, a definitive reason as to why remains unclear, along with the effect it might have on how we humans track time. The rotation rate of Earth is a complicated business. So is these composites, man. And we just go with what we know. First Chronicles 16. We just flowing with what we know. Tremble before him, all the earth. The world also is established that it cannot be moved. We're talking about being firm, fixed, and immovable, man. Psalms 104. It's right on our face, boom. Baruch, HaWah, oh my soul. Baruch, my power, my creator. Thou art very great, thou art clothed with glory and majesty, who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. See your orientation yet? Your firmament is stretched out, these heavens are within it. Who lays the beams of thine upper chambers in the waters. That means there's foundations in the waters. That means you're not spinning on the mother sucking ball. Where's this being described? How are the prophets talking about a spinning ball with foundations, man? We blue marveling, right? Right? We blue marveling? All right, first step to blue marveling is get off your damn ball, man. HaWah established the world, established that it cannot be moved. Spinning at 1,000 miles per hour ain't adding up. Psalms 104. Who lays the beams of thine upper chambers in the waters, who makes the clouds thy chariot, who walks upon the wings of the wind, who makes winds your messengers, the flaming fire your ministers, who did establish the earth upon its foundations. Where's the foundations of a spinning ball in a vacuum of space, man? Stop it, man. Just make it make sense. That it should not be moved forever and ever. This is ridiculous, man. They put a globe in the classroom in preschool. They gave you an image of the world that doesn't exist. You've been brainwashed, indoctrinated. There's no foundations here. It's not supposed to ever be moved forever and ever. The earth upon its foundations, that it should not be moved forever and ever. Thou did cover it with the deep as with a vesture. The waters stood above the mountains. Were they spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, man? Were they spinning at 1,000 miles per hour? Thou did cover it with the deep as with the vesture. The waters stood above the mountains. At your rebuke they fled. At the voice of your thunder they hastened away. The mountains rose. The valley sank down into the place which thou had founded for them. Founded waters. Waters always level, Khan. Thou didst set a bound which they should not pass over. Now you got the Antarctica wall. That they might not return to cover the earth. Let's go, man. Let's go. Firm, fixed, and immovable. Remember this flat earth Bible we used to get? Talking about our flat drop. We got 1 Chronicles 16. He has fixed the earth firm, immovable. Psalms 93:1, thou hast fixed the earth immovable, firm. Psalms 96:10, he has fixed the earth immovable, firm. 104, fixed the earth on its foundation so that it can never be shaken or moved. Isaiah 45, who made the earth and fashioned it, and himself fixed it fast. Suffice to say that the earth envisioned by flat earthers is as immovable as any geocentrist could desire. Most, perhaps all, scriptures commonly cited by geocentrists have also been cited by flat earthers. The flat earth view is geocentricity with further restriction. Well, we know we got an infinite plane view that the Creator continues to create. And for the dismount, I'm going to let this content creator pop off, man, on this Blue Marvel flow. Just get a little here a little there, a little flat drop one-on-one, little quantum, physics, energy talk, what I'm saying, little Blue Marvel flow, comic flow, just for my noggins to enjoy, man. And I know we popping off, so this is just to expand our mind bones. Fair use in your caboose, copyright 107, fair use, criticism, comments, news report, teaching. We're going to do some scholarship work, and we're going to do a good dismount right here, man. On this Comics Explained flow. And just get a few minutes and, maybe pick it up next time right here, man. What a good spot for it. Blue Marvel Anti, man. Why not, man? And then they got the origin of Blue Marvel, the full power of Blue Marvel, the hunt for Blue Marvel, right? Because it's a Tony Stark's trying to look for him. So he's all in this Blue Marvel flow. He got some Kang stuff, so we're going to dig on this stuff piece by piece, man. The death of Kang. What does Kang got to do with Khan, man? Genghis Khan. Let's get a piece of this Blue Marvel Anti, man, for the dismount and work our way through it, man. We Blue Marvel, man. At Ether Squad, continue to flow at 432 to Drop Radio. ThaWaDa to the
told him, hey, Mom, I spent 8 years on...
ThaWaDa to the Dragons on the wall. And all my Nagas supporting Joy World. Continue to flow for Joy World. Nagas are still in motion. Still got a squad in motion. Still popping off. So, Ahab Conclave. And, we continue to need, whatever support for materials, support, for building, purposes, paint, sealing, all the stuff that's going on. We got water that we're getting out there to keep our plants alive, all that costs. So please help us by clicking the link below, supporting Joy World. Let's go, man. For the dismount, Ahab to Comics Explained. Let's go.
Back, I think Tuesday or Wednesday of next week is when I get back. It's kind of weird talking to you guys.
Let's go.
That it'll basically destroy the world. And so they're actually resistant to Adam Brashear doing this. So much so that when Adam Brashear says, either you can help me willingly or you can just stand by and do nothing, but either way, I'm going to do this, with the rest of the superheroes and just being like, okay. So there's only really one option that we have, which is to effectively disperse his energy, right? Me just kind of absorb, right? The conclusion of the whole thing, which is great the way this is done, because what you end up doing here is you initially pick up with really Adam Brashear showing up with the rest of the superheroes and just being like, okay, so there's only really one option that we have, which is to effectively disperse his energy, right? Me just kind of absorbing it and then dispersing Connor Sims across basically all existence. But the fear that the superheroes have is that in doing that, what it's going to do is it's going to let off such a large amount of antimatter energy that it'll actually rip open the fissure between the antimatter universe and the positive matter universe to such a degree that it'll basically destroy the world. And so they're actually resistant to Adam Brashear doing this. So much so that when Adam Brashear says, either you can help me willingly or you can just stand by and do nothing, but either way, I'm going to do this, when he races off, the Mighty Avengers go after him. And they actually end up fighting Adam Brashear in an effort to stop him. Now, this is kind of Adam Brashear's experience going toe-to-toe with these guys and their own experience, right? In the sense that Adam Brashear sees them as getting in his way, and kind of a reminder of the way things went back when he stepped down at the request of Kennedy, right? Kennedy said, you got to step down, you got to walk away, it's for the betterment of everybody. And in this instance, the Avengers are saying, no, you got to step down, you got to walk away, it's for the betterment of everybody, you can't engage in this. But in the mind of Adam Brashear, he knew then, much like he knows now, that he's right, that he has to stay the course, he has to fight the fight. So when the Avengers show up here and they face off against him, understand it's not one of these like super lopsided battles that Kevin Grievous gives us here. Instead, like the Mighty Avengers hold their own, kind of, I guess. Like they're able to hold their own to a degree. But the reality is that Adam Brashear is able to overcome all of them, right? Like Simon Williams, Wonder Man, he's able to overcome.
So this Naga is dusting off the Avengers, man. And he's right. The dude just said he was right. So they over here fighting in the wrong, and he's fighting in the right. And this is a super duper Naga. Let's go.
Overcome Ares, he's able to overcome the Sentry. So with the exception of the Incredible Hulk, these are some of the strongest superheroes on the entirety of the Avengers roster. And Adam Brashear is taking all comers. Now there does come a point when Adam Brashear, when the Blue Marvel fights the Sentry. And the fight between the two of them is pretty intense, but it's also incredibly fast. Now remember, the Sentry is he's like a Superman analog. Honestly, Hyperion is closer to Superman than the Sentry is, but the Sentry's no slouch, right? This guy was able to go toe-to-toe with World Breaker Hulk. He's ridiculously powerful, and they're trading blows just back and forth and back and forth. And so there's literally a point when the sentry, like once he kind of knocks Adam Brashear to the ground, he's like, stand down. I'm starting to get ticked off. And in response, Adam Brashear knocks him into the atmosphere, like literally punches him into orbit with one hit. That's how powerful Adam Brashear is. Now, one of the other things I also want you to notice here, he hasn't really hardly taken any damage from anybody, right? Like he has a cut, right? He has a little bit of blood that was drawn by the sentry, but that was it. But even then, he was powerful enough to punch the sentry into orbit. It's like somebody showing up and knocking Superman into orbit in one punch. That's what this is. It's just a crazy level of power that Adam Brashear has. And so ultimately, because he's exhausted himself so heavily, even in his fight with the sentry, when Robert Reynolds comes back, he can barely stand. Adam Brashear can barely stand. So seemingly at the moment, the two of them are pretty equal in power, and in fact, Adam Brashear basically passes out. And so at that point, they get him back to the Baxter building as a form of recovery, but also kind of to hold him in place, right, to keep him there so he can't necessarily get out and try to engage in the scheme again. And so what Susan Storm had done was actually go and grab Adam's wife and brought her here for no other reason than the fact that, like, his wife needs to be here. Now, the other part of this is his wife can bring a line of logic and reason that none of the Avengers can do, right? Because it's really more of a gentler hand in a discussion that needs to be had. Because Adam Brashear isn't simply just fighting.
Remember, his wife's a spy, and they slid her in there on purpose. So they just put her in the story, and she's hijacking everybody, man. We're going to get some more of this Blue Marvel, and we got a lot to dig on, man. You know, we just getting started, man, because you are the Marvel, man. You are the Marvel, man. You know what I'm saying? You are the wonder. But what I said, we're going to be an astonishment, right? But now my not going to be popping off, and now they're just astonished at the level and the frequency and the vibration that you could withstand and overcome, and all the anti-matter absorbing you can do with all their anti-bullcrap, and the way you're able to absorb it and turn it into straight up Ahab and build and tribe up. How are you able to do this with even your own people praying against you? Even your own people want you to fail. Niggas that look just like you. Niggas that claim to be, you know, in the same house as you. Still. Who's the Marvel of Peru? Uh-oh. We might have to dig on this in the next installment of the quantum flow manipulation and the flow of time. And again, don't be afraid to belly flop into some of this quantum mechanics, because, you know, once you know what you're looking for and how they're using these terms of measurement and observation in quantum mechanics context, the term observable is used interchangeably with physical quantity and should be treated as a technical term with the same meaning. It's no accident that the early developers of the theory chose the term, but the choice was made for reasons that are not nowadays generally accepted. The state space of a system is the space formed by the set of its possible states, i.e. the physically possible ways of combining the values of quantities that characterize it internally. We got a lot of internal conversation to talk about when it comes to the mathematics of things, the vectorness of things, man. I mean, it's all math, it's all numbers, you know what I'm saying? So everything's numbers and flow, and you know what I mean? Don't get intimidated by the quantum. You know, we just gotta keep it on coon, because we Blue Marvel and con, and you ain't spinning on no damn ball. Oh, the earth is spinning faster. Man, oh man. Really, man, last time I checked, the world, the earth is established so that it cannot be moved by nothing. Last time that I checked, you know, you were founded. Earth has foundations that should not be moved forever and ever, man. We just popping off. They just tuning in. They trying to move us, but we are firm, fixed, and immovable, man. Fixed, firm, and immovable. They can't move us. They can't spin us no more. You know why, man? Because we Blue Marvel, man. Hey, out to the cons, man. See y'all in the next one. And keep surfing away with me Because you already know I'm surfing away with you. And it's steady, steady water, man, as we continue to do this and, put these things together in real time, man, and just, reevaluate what we know. It's okay to come and have a checkpoint and reevaluate what you think to empty your cup, to observe, to see clearly, man, in real time. Because you Blue Marvel, man, you got the quantum entanglement, man. It's all happening. The water to the cosmos, man, again, for your continued flow, your energy, your frequency, your vibration. And we're going to compare it and put it in, with this, Prester investigation, with this suspended animation, with the his story, which is your story. Story of the con, story of the marvel. In real time, man. Ahab to the real ones. Shalom to the tribe. Keep surfing. The wave. Stay up. Suit up.